I never thought a single glance could hit harder than 1,000 words. My name is Derek Callahan, 38, married to Evelyn Harrow, 12 years now. Or at least I thought we were on the same page. Life had its usual rhythm. Work, bills, our little apartment in Boston, weekend walks in the park, the occasional movie night. It wasn't perfect, far from it, but it had its comfort. That's why nothing, absolutely nothing, prepared me for that night. It started like any other Thursday. I came home after a long shift at the construction site, my body aching more than usual, my mind wandering somewhere between deadlines and dinner plans. Evelyn wasn't in the kitchen, not that I expected her. She often got home later than I did. Her work as a marketing consultant at a boutique firm was demanding. I tossed my keys on the counter, dropped my jacket, and called out her name softly, expecting the usual, "Hey, I'm here," or the clatter of her laptop closing. Silence. Shrugging it off, I headed upstairs. Our bedroom door was closed, which was unusual. Evelyn normally left it ajar, letting the soft glow of the lamp spill into the hallway. I reached for the doorknob and froze. She was sitting on the bed, eyes wide, body stiff, staring directly at me. Panic radiated from her in waves I could almost feel. My chest tightened, and instinctively, I stopped. Something was off, though I didn't know how to put it into words at first. I cleared my throat. "Evelyn, you okay?" My voice was calm, even soothing, but she didn't answer. Instead, she shifted slightly, clutching the sheets like they were a lifeline, eyes flicking away and then back to me, almost pleading without speaking. I took a careful step closer, trying to read her expression. That's when it hit me. This wasn't anger, annoyance, or even the exhaustion I sometimes saw at the end of her day. This was fear, pure, unfiltered panic. We had our issues, sure. We had moments where I felt ignored, where intimacy had thinned over the years, and where conversations felt more like negotiations than connections. But this was something else entirely. Something had changed, and it was sudden. I sat down on the edge of the bed, leaving space between us, because I didn't want to make her feel cornered. "Evelyn," I started gently. "What's going on? Talk to me." Her hands shook slightly as she brushed her hair back behind her ears. Her voice was barely a whisper when it came, shaky and uneven. "Derek, I don't know if I can do this anymore." For a moment, I thought I misheard. Couldn't be. My mind raced, flipping through possibilities, but I remained still, grounding myself. "Do what?" I asked softly, though a cold clarity was beginning to settle in. I had learned over the years that the moment you try to force clarity on someone in panic, you get chaos instead. Let them talk first. Let them show their hand. She swallowed hard, a shiver running through her. I've been hiding it, but I can't pretend anymore. Every time I look at you, I feel trapped." Her words were blunt, but not in anger. Not like she was attacking me. It was almost like a confession she had rehearsed alone in the mirror 1,000 times. I nodded slowly, not because I understood fully, but because I needed to stay grounded. I had to see the truth, whatever shape it came in. "Okay," I said. "Thank you for telling me. I hear you." My voice didn't rise, didn't break. I felt a strange calm wash over me, even as a dull ache settled in my chest. She looked at me then, really looked at me, and I realized how much distance had grown between us without either of us noticing. The woman who used to laugh at my jokes, who would leave little notes on the fridge saying, "Love you more than coffee," was now a stranger sitting across from me, terrified of the next word, the next movement, the next decision. I let the silence stretch for a few moments, letting her gather herself, letting the air settle between us. Then I spoke, not as a husband pleading, not as a man trying to negotiate love back into existence, but as someone who finally saw what reality demanded. "Evelyn, I don't want to corner you. I don't want to force you to stay. I just need to know the truth. Are we done?" Her lips trembled, and she looked away, avoiding my eyes. "I think yes. I've tried to find a way back, but I can't. I'm scared every time we're together. I can't live like this anymore." The words landed like ice. I nodded again, not with relief, not with anger, but with the calm of someone finally accepting facts that had been slowly stacking up over months, maybe years. I rose slowly, feeling the quiet weight of the moment. I didn't yell. I didn't grab her. I didn't cry. I just stood there, letting the space between us hold the truth. "I understand," I said, "and I respect that. You've been honest. I can't ask for more than honesty." My voice carried neither bitterness nor resentment, only a stark clarity. She blinked, tears forming at the edge of her eyes. Panic still lingered, but there was a flicker of relief in that fear. The relief of no longer carrying the secret alone, of no longer pretending everything was fine. I stepped closer, just far enough to let her know I wasn't disappearing from her life, just from the lie we had been living. We'll figure out what comes next. Separate rooms, separate spaces, whatever you need to feel safe. She nodded, shoulders slumping, the first real sign of release I'd seen in months. I felt a strange mixture of grief and liberation. Grief for what we lost, and liberation for finally seeing the truth. No illusions, no denial, just reality, raw and unfiltered. That night, I left the bedroom quietly, not in anger, not in rebellion, just in acceptance. I packed a small bag with essentials, clothes, my laptop, some documents. I didn't slam doors or raise my voice. I just walked out, each step measured, each breath deliberate. Outside, the cool night air hit me, sharp and cleansing. For the first time in a long while, I felt awake, fully awake, in a way that was uncomfortable yet necessary. I drove without destination, letting the streets guide me, letting the tension ease with each mile. By the time I reached my friend Miles Granger's apartment in the suburbs, I realized something profound. I wasn't running. I wasn't escaping. I was finally acknowledging the truth. A love that had suffocated under unspoken fears and invisible walls couldn't survive in silence. Not anymore. The next morning, Evelyn texted, hesitant and careful, asking if I was okay. I replied with the same calm I had maintained the night before. I'm fine. We'll figure this out. No blame, no rage, just clarity. And in that clarity, I finally understood that some endings aren't dramatic. They aren't storms. Sometimes they're quiet, deliberate, and necessary. As I lay on Miles's couch later that morning, sunlight streaming through the blinds, I realized that the panic I saw in Evelyn's eyes had been a gift in disguise. It forced honesty, forced confrontation, forced clarity. And maybe, in time, that clarity would lead both of us to a place of peace we hadn't found in years. The bedroom would remain empty tonight, but in its emptiness, I found a strange comfort. No explosions, no arguments, no recriminations. Just the stark, unflinching truth. And for the first time in a long time, that was enough.